My
Yeah, so
unpopular
go ahead.
opinion
Go ahead
is,
with it.
yeah, Arsenal fans need to relax. They just need to calm down. Perspective is needed, right? This is not me making excuses. I do not make excuses in my life or in my sports watching life or whatever, right? We're not as good as City, but we can win the league over City, but everything has to break for us. Everything has to break just right for us. And we need, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. And the only reason we even have an opportunity is because you said Haaland has been figured out. And that's one thing I believe Arsenal fans don't understand. This is a league that pays a lot of money to coaches, probably more than any other league. So on average, there are some really good coaches, and then they have very deep coaching staff. You have, what do you call them? You have dead ball coaches now. You know what I mean? Like, someone who's coaching throw-ins. It's crazy. So when Arsenal comes out with Zinchenko inverting from left back into midfield, that's good for 3/4 of a season. You can't come back with the same thing the second season. It's not working, Yinka. It hasn't worked. It's been figured out. Saka has been figured out. People think I'm being critical of him when I say he has to get twice as good. Those are the levels. He's been figured out. Jeremy Doku, why was Jeremy Doku more effective when he came in for Grealish? He's not a better player necessarily than Grealish. And Grealish had a good game against Real Madrid, by the way. He had a really good game against Real Madrid. But Doku came in. Doku has not been figured out yet. They don't know. Right? So when one is very elusive and all that, yes. But so are a lot of other people. Martinelli is too. But Martinelli has now been seen for 4 seasons. They know what he's going to do. So my disappointment is not once did Martinelli and Saka switch wings. Just try something different.
Yeah.
Just try something different. Odegaard has been figured out, right? And if you don't believe me, our best player this season is Declan Rice. He's been playing his worst stretch in the last 4 or 5 games. Why? He's been figured out. Now is the time to bring Partey in and help him. So he's not the only brain of the operation, the brawn of the operation, the everything of the operation. Coaches in the EPL will figure you out. Saliba is making more mistakes than he made last year. He's been figured out. You know what I mean? And that's what coaching does to you. You know, that's why this guy, Pep, would never allow himself to go stale. Pep will cut you off 2 years before your expiration date because you always have to keep it fresh. So I think Arsenal fans don't get this, and you've always said it. They think Arsenal is better than what they are. I am not disappointed. I'm not disappointed with where the club is. I'm not going to use the results to now come back and club. I don't want to say club, pardon the pun, but to now come back and beat up the club. You know what I mean? Like, the result for me doesn't justify or doesn't explain what happened. I care about the process. And the process is, this is a really, really, really good team that is not yet complete. They might be 85% of the way there. Yinka, you said something, you've said it a few times, that if Saka can ever become 70 or 75% of Salah, it will be unstoppable. Think about that. Yep. So what percent of Salah is he right now? 50? It could be as low as 50. The only thing I would say,
if not less
than. So I think Arsenal fans underrate how great Salah is. This guy is special. Now, the 2 things I would say in mitigation is Saka is better at 22 than Salah was at 22. That doesn't guarantee you anything, right? Because you can hit your peak at 22. It doesn't happen often, but it's possible.
You have early bloomers and late bloomers. Yeah.
But the good thing is Saka doesn't depend on his speed. It really doesn't. He doesn't really depend on being elusive. He plays with his brain. So that's why I feel like if they can manage his, physicality and all that stuff, I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I think Martinelli can lift up his head a little bit and, and get better. All of these guys need to get better.
Mm-hmm.
When I said we were going to win the league this year, it wasn't just because we bought Declan Rice. It was because I'm expecting a 10% improvement in our young players. That's going to happen every year, you know? So everyone needs to calm down. The sky is not falling, you know? Yes. You lost to the worst, people say the worst Bayern team in years. Okay, that's true. But context matters. We made 2 mistakes in London. We made 2 mistakes in London. We shouldn't have done that. But it happened. You know, but the sky is not falling. The sky is not falling.
So I hear you. And I kind of agree with you. But what I don't like, and this goes to, I mean, I see a lot of Arsenal fans do this. It's trying to rationalize what's going on.
Okay.
In terms of, it took Pep 10 years. It took Klopp this years.
Oh, that's not me.
I'm like, guys,
that's not me at all.
Yeah. I know that's not you. I'm just saying some other people, most Arsenal fans are like that though. I'm not like that. You're not like that. You can accept the fact that, yes, this team messed up. Acknowledge it.
Yeah.
You don't need to make it seem as if, oh, what do you mean? Are we the only ones? We're not the only ones. Oh, it took Pep, so. Yeah. It took Klopp. I'm like, no. Why must you compare yourself to them? They've done their own bit. That's their fate. That's their cycle. Yeah. You chart your own pass. Don't use them as the benchmark. If your team is messed up, own up and said, this guy's messed up. But hey, do you understand? Not trying to say, oh, is expected. No, it's not. No. Don't say it's expected. It's not.
Yinka, because people think...
You keep saying this. There are standards.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, people think these things are linear. You know? That, hey, you do this, then you do that. No, sometimes you can bring in special players and special situations that would accelerate your development. You know? So again, you put a Messi on Newcastle. Newcastle looks different. You know? And the fact that Newcastle is not taking the leap like everyone expected them to doesn't mean they don't have a good coach. So it's this nuance that people need to kind of think about. For me, I'm like, so again, I'm trying really hard not to criticize Arteta, but if I would say something, you know, in mild criticism, it's, who do you want your bench to be? You know, do you want Jorginho type players who have been there, done that, may not be as dynamic? Or do you want a bunch of academy players who we know are not good enough? Like Reece Nelson, like Eddie Nketiah. You gave them big contracts, right? So again, in mitigation, what I think happened there was they're looking at FFP. When you have a academy player, it's pure profit when you sell them. You know, if nobody cares how much wages you pay him, you bought him for zero.
And it's cheaper on the long run.
Yeah,
and you need bodies.
Yeah.
So when people were complaining about the contracts, I'm like, do you know how much it will cost to replace Nketiah?
Yeah.
It is way cheaper for you to give him 100K per week and preserve his value so that you can sell him
for 40 million.
If you don't give him, he goes on a free, and you have to pay out of your noses to buy a decent player.
2 years ago,
FFP.
Yeah. No, 2 years ago, it would have been like
it's strangling everybody.
Yeah, it would have been like a Dominic Solanke before he scored 17 goals. And it would have cost 40 million 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So these things matter.
Yeah.
These things matter. I get your opinion is not as unpopular as you think it is.
No, thank you.
Well, it will be unpopular to a lot of people, but it's not unpopular to me. It's just surprising that it's taking you a long time to get here. I've been here for a very, very, very long time.
No,
it's true. I'm the one that is always trying to, and one good thing you said, I mean, a lot of people are kind of ignoring. Arteta himself is evolving.
He's learning. Yeah.
He's learning. Even Pep is learning, and Pep is way ahead of Arteta. Yeah. So, and see, this team might go 5 years and still not win anything. Nothing is guaranteed.
I hope not. But
Nothing is guaranteed. if someone sat you down and said, with all these clubs, club only won one EPL, right? Do you understand? You'd be like, really? He only won one? He only won one.
Yeah.
And he's challenged for 8 of them.
Yeah.
All the 8 years he's been here, he's challenged all through. So nothing is guaranteed. So you're right. Arsenal fans need to be patient. Yeah. Nothing is given, nothing is guaranteed. The fact that you spend £1 billion does not mean you will win anything. Ask Chelsea, ask United. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So they need to take it easy.